The just concluded 10th Africa Conference on Sexual Health and Rights gathered over 900 delegates, including social campaigners, academics and policymakers from over 41 countries. The biennial conference was hosted in Freetown from the 27th of June to the 1st of July 2022. According to the United Nations, Africa has the youngest population in the world, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 30. The conference served as a platform for 350 young people who developed a manifesto on issues around sexual and gender-based violence.
Politicians, when they do out their manifesto, there's no specific things wherein they can capture disability. But in the youth manifesto, really, I was proud to hear, when the other lady was reading it out there, and she talked about the, involvement. She talked about the negative, happening to people with disability, and she also measured that now is the time, because we cannot continue to live in this life. We cannot continue to be struggle forever. Now is the time, and now we can make that change.
The 10th Africa Conference on Sexual Health and Rights sets the platform for young people to discuss issues that are affecting them in terms of sexual and reproductive health. Sessions have been packed with issues around gender violence, issues around body autonomy, and many issues surrounding all forms of violence against women and girls.
It's kind of personal to me, right? Because I'm a product of that. My mother was basically forced to have me, and I feel no woman or child should go through that, and that is why I went into the activism of, fighting for abortion rights back in my country.
Youth activists called an engagement involving funding for their works and to be included in decision making.
Just the whole experience has just been amazing, and seeing the inclusivity that has been happening at this place. We've got members from all over Africa, members of the LGBTQ community, young people living with disabilities, young people who are living with albinism, and everybody just being here and everybody just contributing towards manifesto. It has been the greatest takeaway.
At a closing plenary, Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio announced the approval of a safe motherhood bill which will ensure the safety of women of reproductive age and decriminalize women who seek to have choices over their bodies.
Burundi celebrated the 60th anniversary of its independence in Bujumbura with the military parade and guests of honors from around the world. President Evariste Ndayishimiye during the ceremony hailed the new Burundi after 60 years and further advocated for a better tomorrow for the Central African country. After 60 years, Burundi is no longer the same. It is a new Burundi. It is for this reason that we must cherish the chapter that we have started. We must not deviate from the good path that we have taken. President Ndayishimiye further reckoned the underdevelopment status of the country, linking it to colonization that has been the root of ethnic vices like war in the country. This colonization divided us, and this had many consequences. Burundians killed one another. The Burundian authorities did not understand who the Burundian people were and organized the murders themselves. Ndayishimiye further warned against individuals who propagate instability and further warned countries from harboring such individuals in their own countries. People who disturb our country should not be welcomed in these Western countries. As long as these people have countries in which they can settle down in and live in peace, they will continue to disturb African countries. So if the international community want peace in Africa, we ask them to not welcome on their soil anyone who disturb African countries. Ndayishimiye was elected in May 2020 and succeeded the late President Pierre Nkurunziza, whose insistence on a third term in office in 2015 plunged the country into political violence that made several others to flee. An event to promote the fashion industry in the continent took place in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where conflict has caused death and mass displacement. This year, more than ever, the show focused on supporting peace through fashion and art, aiming to show that the region has much to offer. Designers, models and artists presented their designs in Goma during the 8th edition of the Liputa Fashion Show. In our collection, there are different colors, and they are colors that bring joy and hope in the lives of all people around here. who have suffered so much. Through our collection, we want to send a message to all those people who believe, because there is still a future in Congo. Designers from South Africa, Senegal, Central African Republic and Congo, as well as models and musicians from other countries, attended the show, all with a message of hope and strength. The white people have brought a barrier, the borders, but we are one people. We have the same blood, same color. We are together. The Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Chad, Sudan, Cameroon. It is one people. It is Africa, and it is Africa that wins. Due to the violence in the region, organizers were concerned that some individuals traveling from other countries will cancel their participation. That was not the case, as explained by David Gulu, who is the coordinator of the Liputa Fashion Show. Despite the war and our situation, we still live, and fashion also participated in its own way for the peace in the east of the DRC and for Africa, because our event preaches living together. This edition was really about living together, about promoting peace through fashion and through other artists who accompanied us. The organizers now hope to prepare a larger event next year with the participation of more local and international designers and artists. Sierra Leone on Friday introduced a new family banknotes, stripping 3 zeros off the Leone in a bid to restore confidence in the inflation-hit national currency. The Bank of Sierra Leone announced the move last August, insisting the public's purchasing power will not be affected by the change.
I am very, very much happy to be part of the history making in this country, which is Sierra Leone. Yeah, for me to get this money today. And today is the 1st of July 2022, where this money was launched.
Year-on-year inflation in the West African state was 24.87% in May, according to the National Statistics Agency. Rising prices had driven the printing of banknotes, resulting in a mountain of paper money that is costly to sustain.
The inconveniences and inefficiencies of using old notes will be a thing of the past. 5 leones of the new notes will buy you the same goods and services that 5,000 of the old notes yesterday bought for you. As the Bank of Sierra Leone people have said, it is new money, same value.
Sierra Leone's 8 million people live in one of the poorest nations in the world, ranking 182 out of 189 countries in the UN's UN Development Index. A Mozambican park welcomed its first white rhinos in 40 years on Friday, after 19 of the threatened animals completed a 1,600-kilometer truck ride from South Africa. The rhinos were introduced to Zinave National Park in southern Mozambique under an initiative to restore wildlife and boost the local economy. The conservation group that led the project, known as the Peace Park Foundation, said the return of the right rhinos allows for the park to be reintroduced as a new and exciting tourist destination in Mozambique. The group said it planned to do more than double the park's rhinos population over the next 3 years, adding more from both species. Wildlife in the 4,000 square kilometers haven was decimated by Mozambique's decades-long civil war, which ended in 1992, and by poaching. The white rhinoceros is classified as a near threatened by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, while its cousin, the African black rhino, is listed as critically endangered. Zinave is now the only national park in Mozambique to house all big 5 African game animals: elephant, rhino, lion, leopard, and buffalo.